Hello, I'm Staff Sergeant Tyler King, Q-Flight, Keesler Air Force Base. In this video, we are going to be diving into the PBED process and how it is vital to mission planning at all levels for cyber mission capable airmen. We'll specifically be talking about the planning and briefing stages of the process. The planning stage is often the most important piece of the entire process, so many will often spend the most time in this stage, whereas the briefing stage is essential to getting all stakeholders on the same page. Starting with planning. A plan is the outline of the mission. It is a blueprint for how you want to accomplish the mission. There are many different military planning methodologies that exist, such as ME3CPC², military decision-making process, and joint planning process, plus many more. The foremost methodology for the Air Force is ME3CPC². Before we go into what that stands for, though, let's expand it out. There we go. Now, all of this stands for and takes into account mission, environment, enemy, effects, capabilities, plan, phasing, contracts, and contingencies. The military decision-making process is a process that helps commanders, staffs, and others think critically and creatively while planning. Finally, the joint planning process consists of 7 steps: planning initiation, mission analysis, course of action development, course of action analysis and wargaming, course of action comparison, course of action approval, and plan or order development. As mentioned, these are just a few planning methodologies. We will not be doing a deep dive into them, so for more information, please feel free to visit the Q-Flight SharePoint page. It should be known that throwing all your resources at the target is not the best answer. After all, you don't want to spend $50 on a $5 problem. Instead, take the time to create a well-thought-out plan using the 7 principles of planning. These 7 principles are focus on the objective, globally integrated and coordinated, resource-informed, risk-informed, framed within the strategic and operational environment, informs decision-making, and lastly, is adaptive and flexible. These principles are crucial to keep in mind during development of a successful plan. After mission planning, 1 or more briefs are given. A mission brief conveys the various elements of the mission and the plan to accomplish the objectives. The briefing and associated products will be derived from mission planning and ensures all participants understand mission expectations. Mission leads are responsible for ensuring subordinate packages and decision authorities understand the tactical plan. Tactical mission briefs ensure all participants are aware of the mission and come in many different forms. These forms include, but are not limited to, Cyber Boss Brief, Mass Brief, and Crew Brief. Some of the most common steps of the different briefings are roll call, making sure key personnel are in attendance, restating the purpose of the meeting, and ensuring the organization and flow of the mission makes sense. One important step near the end of the briefing stage is to do a rehearsal of concepts drill, a rock drill. A rock drill is an excellent method used for ensuring the mission team is comfortable with the steps before the actual mission. This rehearsal is a session in which the planning staff or unit practices expected actions to improve performance during execution. Rehearsals allow leaders to practice synchronizing operations at times and places critical to mission accomplishment. Additionally, all participants rehearse their roles in the operation to ensure they understand how their actions support the overall operation during execution and note any additional coordination required. After a rehearsal of concepts drill, the commander or designated representative should lead a hot wash. The intent of this meeting is to review lessons learned and make any required modifications to the existing plan. As mentioned, the common types of briefings include Cyber Boss Briefs, Mass Briefs, Individual Package, and Crew Briefs. A Cyber Boss Brief is for the individual who provides the final vectors for the tactical execution plan. The purpose is to allow for a final vector check that the tactical plan is consistent with the operational objectives as the plan has already been approved. A cyber boss brief can be combined with a mass brief, which ensures all mission participants, especially crew members, are familiar with the details of the plan and the purpose of the mission. Individual package and crew briefs both focus on the granular details of the plan as it relates to the mission. In this video, we talked about how important planning is to achieve a successful outcome. We touched on the different planning methodologies to include ME3C PC², military decision-making process, and the joint planning process. We also went over the 7 principles of planning. And finally, we covered common steps of the briefing stage and roles therein. Remember, the planning stage is often the most important piece of the entire process, and you'll often spend the most time in this stage, whereas the briefing stage is essential to getting everyone on the same page. On the next episode of Shifting Forward, we'll be going into the execution and debriefing stages to conclude the PBED process. QFlight is always looking for diverse experience and talent to influence cyber 1 Delta training. We accomplish our mission by utilizing subject matter experts, SMEs, to provide us with feedback on our training products for currency and accuracy. For more information, or if you would like to become a SME, go to our SharePoint site or send an email to qflight.customer.service@us.af.mil.